Hello guys, welcome to Jeff's Garage Adventures. You like tools? This is your channel. I do lots and lots of tool reviews, mostly middle of the road, also some low and high end as well, and some car tech tips and repairs. What do we have here today? Toolant. Toolant is in the house. Toolant is a brand new sponsor. They just reached out to me not too long ago, and I'm happy to have them aboard. They sent me this set. I'm always pretty transparent about that. And whenever I get involved with any company, the only two things I ask them is, I want to be honest with my review, shoot it the way I want, say what I want, and I always try to get a discount. And I got you a discount. I had some technical difficulties trying to get this discount, but finally it's going to go through. It's only good for like 3 days. I'm hoping they make it longer because it took me a while to get the discount code right from them. So let's get with this video. All right, these are the XL Flex Head Ratcheting Wrench Set. They are a double boxed end. They got 12-point box, fixed end, 0 degree offset, and they got a 90 tooth ratcheting on the other end. They go 8 to 19 mil. There's no skips between the 8 and 19. Then it skips 20, goes 21, 22, 23, and 24. This is the big set. It's got that satin chrome finish. It is made in China. Not all stuff in China is junk, guys. I can vouch for that. There are some China tools that are good. This is a 16-piece set. This is the big set. It's $189 and some change. You're not going to pay that. You're going to get 15% off that. And they also got a 12-piece set, which goes, I think it goes from 8 to 19 mil, a 12-piece set. That's $139 and some change. That's the discount code, 15% off. That's a nice discount. It is 729P9YS2. I'll put that in the description as well, so you'll have it you'll be able to use it. So when you go on Amazon, I'll give you a link for that too. When you go on Amazon, make sure when you check out, you use that in the promo section. It'll say promo code. Hit it, type that code in, you'll get that discount off. All right, it comes in a nice blow molded case. That's a pretty stout tray. And the length of that is 20.5 inches long, and the width of it's 16 inches long, and it's 1 3/4 inch deep. It'll probably take up a whole drawer in a smaller toolbox. Not the toolbox behind here, but a smaller one. But it's a nice tray, and I would think you'd want to keep them in a tray if you have room. Okay, let's pull out one of these bad boys. Toolant is in the house. Let's take a gander. This is a pretty heavy wrench. This is a 24 mil. And bringing it up to the camera here, and you can see how nice and deep that is. They stamp it real nice deep. The ID markings are nice and deep as well. I'm not seeing metric on there. I like not seeing the MM after or the M. It's just a cleaner look. And they're stamped on both sides as well, which I like to see. You can see it on that side too. I always like seeing that. I love that satin chrome finish, or plated, if you will. It says flex box on the back. 0 degree on the fixed end. 12-point box. There's a chamfer up close. Looks pretty good, nice and clean. I'm not seeing any imperfections. Pretty consistent with all the points. These things are pretty long. 90 tooth. There's got a directional arrow. I always like seeing a directional arrow as well. That helps out a lot. How tight is the joint? The joint's pretty tight on this. 90 tooth, ready? Some got some back drag, some don't, but they are brand new. You'll have to break them in, but most of them are pretty good. And what I typically do with this type of wrench is when they're sealed, you can't service them, I take them over. I'll put them overnight, or maybe 1 or 2 nights, and I soak them in ATF. And believe it or not, that helps a lot with this type of wrench. How long are these bad boys? Here's a conventional 24 mil combination wrench next to it, and you can see it's a good, I would say that's 5 or 6 inches longer. So they're pretty long wrench. Let's pull out the 19. Here's a 19 mil. Toolant is in the house. Let's take a gander. That's the back side. It says flex box. Again, I love that satin chrome plating. Toolant, nice and deep. ID markings, again, nice and deep. There's a chamfer on this one here. I got a fastener for this one here. Had them for a couple weeks. This is just an unboxing, but I think these got a lot of potential. You can adjust them or tighten them. A lot of times with this type of a joint, when you go to tighten them, you can only tighten them so far, right? With any of these type of wrenches, if they do get a little floppy, I I put wavy washers in there sometimes, and they work pretty good. I don't always got to do that, but these seem pretty tight. That joint's pretty tight that way. They're not flopping around a lot. This one's pretty smooth. The 19's pretty smooth. Not a lot of back drag in this one, guys. That beam is pretty stout, too, as well. It's got some girth to it, guys, so you know it's going to have some strength. Let's put a fastener on the 19 mil. Here we go. Fits pretty good. No binding or skipping. Let's put it over the other way. Not bad. This is not a bad set. I will do a follow-up after some long use. I usually do an unboxing, 6 month, and then a year follow-up. Pretty decent fit, guys, on these. I love the length of them, too. They're going to be great for additional reach and leverage. But again, I would say, to give you guys some good advice, always try to break it loose with the fixed end and do your final tightening with the fixed end, guys. And you'll stay out of trouble. You know, you start trying to break loose or do your final tightening with any ratchet wrench for that matter, not just these, you may run into problems. They're not designed for that. But I love the extra length. Let's pick that up next to a 19 millimeter conventional wrench, and you can see how much longer it is, quite a bit longer. Let's go with the 17 mil, I think. I got a fastener for the 17 mil. Here's a 17 mil. I am definitely a sucker for that set in chrome. Some guys like it, some don't. There's a chamfer on this one, on the fixed end, 0 degree. On today's cars, it's all about options, guys, and this is definitely a nice option to have. How tight is this joint? I know a bunch of guys are waiting for this video. Sorry it took so long. There's a teeny bit of play in that one. Not drastic, nothing I would worry about. Pretty smooth, not a lot of back drag in this one out of the box. I love this type of wrench. I use them a lot. Let's see how that fits a fastener. Got it up to the camera here so you can see it. Pretty good fit. No binding or skipping. Smooth. Let's go with a 0 degree fixed end here. These are decent wrenches, guys. I kid you not. I always tell it the way I see it, and these are not bad at all. You know, if you think about that, with a discount, these are not bad. You buy some of the other brands are a lot more money than these are. This is a nice big set, you know what I mean? 13 mil, let's try the 13 mil here. You know, we got something for you. Here's a 13 mil. The beam on these is pretty stout, even on the smaller ones. You're not going to bend these guys. Directional arrow, again, I always like seeing that. There's a chamfer on that. A 9/8 tooth to me is a sweet spot. This one's pretty smooth. I'm digging this one. Joint feels pretty good. Again, you can tighten them up if you had to. I think I just used this one the other day trying it out. These are decent. I think there was 3 or 4 guys waiting for these. Well, here you go, guys. You're going to save some money going through my link. And you're going to get in my opinion, pretty good product. We'll definitely do some follow-ups with these. I live in a salt belt, so these will come in handy. All right, let's grab a, see, was that 13? We'll grab one more 10 mil. Grab a 10 mil here. Here's a 10 mil. Let's put it up next to a conventional 10 mil combination, and you can see it goes on forever. Wow. Yeah, that's a good 6 inches longer. 90 tooth. Directional arrows, nice and, it's laser etched, you can see it nice and clear as day. This one's pretty smooth too. How tight is the joint? Joint feels pretty tight to me. I'm not seeing a lot of play in it. No, looks pretty good to me, guys. Not a bad set. I'm not sure about the warranty. Maybe they'll leave a comment about that. I don't know much about their warranty. I just started, this is a new brand that I'm working with. And let's put a fastener on that. I got one more fastener here. Here's the 10 mil. Again, use this end. Don't use this end for when you first break the fastener loose. There's a 10 mil. 10 mil's got a little bit of back drag. Most of them have been pretty good though. How's the fit on there? It fits pretty good. Let's go to the 0 degree fixed end here. There's a chamfer on that. Looks all pretty uniform. I'm not seeing anything bogus going on there. Let's see how it fits that. Pretty snug as a bug. Overall thoughts is a pretty good set. And again, I got the smaller set too, the 12-piece set, which goes 8 to 19 mil. This goes all the way down to 8 mil, which I like to see. Here's the 8 mil. All the way down to the 8 mil. This one's pretty smooth. All right, guys. That's it for today. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll give that discount code, and I'll leave it in the description so you can use it. So when you check out, if you buy them on Amazon, make sure you go in that promo bar, and type in the discount code. All right, guys. Have a great day, and see, what's today? Tuesday? No, today's Wednesday. Got a giveaway video coming in 2 days. You ain't going to want to miss that. I got a bunch of prizes in this one coming up. All right, guys. Take care.